Hi, I'm Megan. Welcome to today's live reading of Love Is What It Is by Marina Hanna, presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Join me. Chapter 1, Toni. Let's go on holiday, he suggested, and despite the fact that we've only been seeing each other for a mere 3 weeks, I agreed. Who wouldn't say yes to a couple weeks of sun, sea, and sex? What more could a girl ask for? To be honest, Clive and I haven't spent any real time together other than in bed having sex. Our relationship hasn't gotten to the point where either of us is willing to give up our weekends for each other. We're not at the lovey-dovey stage. Going on this holiday with Clive is an opportunity to have some fun, let my hair down. You know the saying, the best way to get over someone is to get under someone new. I'd recently dumped my arsehole of a boyfriend, James, so getting away for a couple of weeks is the perfect solution. Not that I'm beat up about breaking up with James, it was overdue. There was no fun and certainly no love involved. I suspect he just wanted me as an arm candy, and I'd put up with his narcissism for long enough. He was so far up his own arse, always bragged about his high-flying job. It was all about money. He had to have the best flat, the flashiest car, and after a while it became tiring. The sex was passable, but he was a selfish lover. There was no sensual touches of explorations. His hands didn't move magically over my body. When he stuck his dick inside me, it was very impersonable. No eye contact, pounding into me until he came. It was always very quick. I did try and tell him what I like, what I don't like, but he didn't take kindly to it. He became defensive. He said he didn't need advice on how to satisfy a woman. I begged to disagree. He he told me I didn't know what good sex was and he was going to show me. So, of course, I jumped at the chance to get away from it all. But I should have seen the writing on the wall as Clive and I argue at check-in about seat allocation. He berates me for not checking in online, blaming me for the fact that we're now stuck at the back of the plane. Something tells me this is not going to be a fun-filled holiday I'm hoping for. Even though it's only a 2.5 hour flight from London, I realize it's going to be a miracle if we don't end up killing each other before we even land. I've managed to ignore him for the most part by reading. When the fasten your seatbelt light comes on for landing, I buckle up, stow the table away, and bring my seat into an upright position. The crew are going through the usual landing procedures, but I'm not paying too much attention. I'm looking out at the island of Majorca below from my window seat, appreciating the turquoise waters, eager to get to the beach, lie back, and relax without a care in the world. There's a wave of excitement running through me as we make our descent, until a nudge from Clive brings the reality of my situation to the forefront. This is going to be the best holiday ever, babe. Ugh, don't call me babe. He leans in, lowering his voice almost to a whisper, hard and possessive. Hard and possessive. I'll be calling you all sorts of things when we get to our room and we're fucking like rabbits. You'll not want to leave the room. How can he act as if everything is hunky-dory after being such an arse is beyond me. Trudging through the airport, pulling my suitcase along with me, I try my hardest to put it all behind me and cling to my initial excitement. Finally, arriving at our hotel, I realize there is no pool and we're nowhere near the beach. It's on a side street somewhere random. Our room is offering no view, just the back of another building. And on top of it, the icing on the cake, there's no air conditioning. Don't even get me started on the room itself. Dingy, dark, broken blinds, windows that won't open. But hey, that's okay. The air can trickle in through the broken glass. I almost wish the single ceiling light didn't work so I couldn't see the creepy crawlies running across the tiled floor. How did you find this place? It's a dump. Geez, Toni, you don't travel well across time zones, do you? What's with the attitude? He's blaming my attitude on the time zone change. How can he not see how bad this room is? We're only 1 hour ahead of UK time, so your theory is bullshit, much like the accommodation. Stop being a diva. He's also accused me of being a spoiled brat. I'm not. I'm also not a diva, nor am I high maintenance, but I do expect a basic level of comfort like clean sheets. If he couldn't afford at least a 2-star, why would he not accept my offer to pay for the hotel? I insisted on paying for my own plane ticket, but he flat out refused to let me pay a contribution toward the accommodation. Leave it to me, it's all taken care of, he said, hence why we've ended up here. I suppose it's some kind of macho complex. Why don't I pay for us to stay at a hotel with a pool, I offer. But he's not budging, so I suppose this is where we're staying. After what seems like forever, too tired to argue anymore, we call a truce and go to bed. And despite everything that has transpired from the moment we set out on this holiday, he has the gall to try to get it on. He wants sex. I'll admit, so do I. I'm horny as hell, but I'm not going to do it in this godforsaken hotel room. If we were in love, this would be a romantic story to tell our grandchildren, but we're not. So I slap his roving hands away and turn to my side to face away from him. Every time I move, the bed springs poke into my back. Every position I try fails to give any comfort as I attempt to sleep. That's when I decide enough is enough. I simply can't stay here another night. Too exhausted to undress, I had slept in my clothes, and at the first sign of daylight, I'm up. I grab my tote, sling it over my shoulder, and wheel my case to the door as quietly as I can. I take a brief glance over my shoulder at Clive before I exit. He hasn't even stirred. He's just lying there on the bed, snoring loudly. What was I thinking, coming away with him? Obviously, I wasn't thinking. I didn't consider what it would be like being with each other 24/7. Excuse me. And I can't even make it through the first 24 hours. What does that say about me? Maybe I am selfish and demanding. We're not even dating, we're just fucking. I could have come away on my own and had wild sex on the beach with some random guy from a bar if I'm that desperate. Oh well, you live and learn. Once I've escaped outside, I walk along the main street, pulling my case along with me. It's still early, but there are people about. I find a bench to sit on and rummage through my bag to find my phone. I look up local hotels and decide to try the Novella first. It's pricey, but fuck it. I need to reclaim this holiday as mine. I call them and get lucky. They have one room left, a double, which I book without hesitation. The hotel has a stunning pool, and I can't wait to get there and restart this holiday. I hail a taxi, and the driver takes the coastal road, allowing me to really appreciate the views I never got to see yesterday on our way from the airport. I sit back and relax, watching the sun rise higher, ready to brighten the whole island, guaranteeing a scorching hot day. The few clouds that hover are white fluffy, like balls of cotton wool. Half an hour later, we reach the hotel, and I am immediately impressed by the modern, well-maintained facade, a complete contrast to where I've just come from. Excellent choice, Toni. I pay the driver, grab my case, and head inside excitedly. As soon as I enter the lobby, I feel a blast of air conditioning. It's still early, barely 8:30, but it's hot and it's going to get hotter. I hear my phone ping with a text message. I know it's Clive. He's no doubt read the short text message I sent him during the taxi ride here, informing him where I'll be staying. Contrary to how it may appear, I'm not heartless. I don't bother reading his message. I make my way towards the reception desk and wait while another guest is being seen to. Yes, of course, Mr. Wilson. I'll organize that for you. Thanks. As he casually turns, I almost struggle to take a breath. God, strike me down now if he's not the best looking man I've ever laid eyes on. He has light brown hair, just long enough to be the right amount of messy. His skin has a sun-kissed glow, not too tanned. He's tall, 6 feet at least. I'm rooted to the spot. My heart is pounding as he stops right in front of me for a moment, his eyes roaming my body until they drift up to my face and our eyes meet. There's a glint in his eyes as he smiles. It's the most perfect smile, wide enough to display his pearly whites and reach his clear blue eyes. It's a smile that makes my pulse race. He knows the effect he's having on me. His smirk tells me he's relishing it. I'm suddenly conscious that I'm staring. He keeps eye contact as he strolls by, his smile never leaving his handsome face. I swivel to watch him walk away slowly, but when he looks back over his shoulder, I find it impossible to contain the grin splayed across my face. It doesn't immediately register when I hear the words, "Can I help you?" coming from reception. After checking in, I head to my room on the 4th floor. Once inside, I breathe a sigh of relief to be in such comfortable surroundings. This isn't the most expensive hotel on the island, but it's not the cheapest. For a double room, it's very well furnished. There's a large bed with a nightstand on each side, a built-in wardrobe and bathroom. I discard my case and bag and move towards the sliding door leading onto the small balcony, which is furnished with a bistro table and 2 chairs. But that's not the best part. The pièce de résistance, I have a gorgeous view of the pool, which is only a stone's throw from the beach. Perfect. An hour later, after unpacking, determined to make the most of soaking up the sun and lounging by the pool with a cocktail, I'm stretched out on the sun lounger beneath the parasol, sipping my sex on the beach. I should be so lucky. Cocktail. I take in the view of the Mediterranean. I watch as children happily play on the beach, building sandcastles. A group of friends are playing volleyball. Sunbathers cover themselves in sunscreen so they can lie out for as long as possible, soaking up the rays, making the most of the sunshine before the day comes to an end. That's when I spot him. My gaze follows him through my dark Jackie O sunglasses. I suck on my straw as I watch him casually stroll along the beach to find the perfect spot. He lays a towel on the sand a mere few feet away and then takes out an artist's sketch pad from his backpack and starts to draw. I can't see what he's drawing from where I am, but I guess something beachy. He made an impression on me earlier when I was checking in. I was hoping I'd see him around the hotel or by the pool. Yep, I'm not going to lie. He's very easy on the eye. He's tall and athletic, muscles rippling under his t-shirt, his shorts allowing me to see his firm, muscular thighs. His light brown hair has a hint of natural highlights from the sun. He has me captivated. Would it be too brazen to go over and talk to him, casually ask about his drawing? Nope, too forward. It smacks of desperation. I'm not sure if it's the heat, the one too many alcohol-laden cocktails, or most likely Clive's snoring, which ensured that I got very little sleep last night, but my eyelids slowly float downward, covering my eyes as I doze off. I'm giggling as I run from the ocean to the blanket that's spread out on the sand in the small cove. As I collapse to the ground, he's there, kneeling in front of me, placing both hands on my shoulders, causing my flesh to tingle. He gently guides me down to a lying position. I don't protest as he lowers his body over mine. One hand is at the side of my head, curling a tendril of my hair between his fingers. My heart beats erratically as his other hand slides across my stomach and slowly traces a path to my breasts, cupping and fondling through the thin fabric of my bikini top. I moan softly as he pushes the cups of my bikini top to the side and his tongue begins to explore my rosy peaks. My nipples harden instantly at the expert lashings of his tongue. I lie there panting as his hands slowly move downward, skimming either side of my body until he reaches my thighs, causing a fluttering in my stomach at the sheer anticipation. There's just a brief moment of hesitation as his eyes meet mine, gentle and contemplative. A silent request to ascertain that I'm okay with this. I answer by lowering my lashes seductively as I sweep my tongue along my lower lip. That's all it takes for his infectious smile to overtake his features, and I don't have to wait another minute as his body maneuvers to spread my legs, allowing me to feel every inch of his hardness through his shorts as he presses against my core, his arousal thrilling me, flooding me with extraordinary delight. I respond eagerly, gyrating my hips to gain every ounce of pleasure as I wrap my arms around him and pull him closer to me.